live with more messages from the spirits. Can I do the bird call? We're not careful. DMX will have me out here barking. What's up, everybody? I am the hostess with the mostest, the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, light worker, starseed, earth angel. I heard it. Fucking starseed. Earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, a motherfucking evangelist. I'm in such a goofy mood. I have been all day. I felt like the leechies took me when I was riding around in the demon's spot. For real, yeah. I am the hostess with the mostest, the Lilith reincarnated. In order to keep up with me, you had to see what I posted my community page, my latest live video, and anything in my shorts. I was laughing really hard about everything. Especially, I went back to what I said earlier. Dude, as long as my son is in the room, I know my jokes are funny. Really? I have such a dry humor, but he cashes in. I said something earlier today because my dog's getting old and she, like, I don't know, dude. She's not making it till the morning time. So I was like, well, we're going to get her some pee pads, right? He's like, Mom, she's not going to use the pee pads. I was like, I'm going to teach her. I'll pee on the pad for her. No, I didn't say it laughing the first time. I said it's so strong. And he heard me. And I heard me. It was just that was just the first joke of the day. All of them have been going all day long. Really, yeah, I'm trying to figure out why fucking Ron Howard and fucking Henry Winkler fucking entered my last video. I was like, are they dead? No. I was like, all right, I don't know, whatever. I can connect to living spirits all the time. What does that mean? I don't know. It won't make sense from 3 days to 3 weeks to 3 months, maybe fucking 3 years from now. Well, I mean, seriously, though. Pac told us about he was coming for Diddy. How long did he tell us that he was coming for Diddy? Before Diddy did. Sorry, I'm being silly. Oh man, I don't know. It was really funny. I don't know. You weren't there. I was hanging out with the spirits laughing about all kinds of stupid shit. Really? Yeah. Yeah. The spirits are funny. Really? Yeah. Because, like, the life that you take so serious and everybody thinks is so serious, they don't think it's so serious. They think it's seriously funny and they cut jokes about it. And I'll be laughing out loud. And I'm like the definition of laugh. What are you laughing at? Nothing. All right, so in my last video, I got a vision to take this card out and also talk to the Pleiadians. What are the Pleiadians? It's a star system outside of our planet that I was currently doing a Burning Man festival to. Really? Well, the Burning Man festival is put into a lot of work, teamwork, to do one offering and honoring to God. I do those all day with my little Jewish ashtray. Are you being funny? No, everything just is. Oh yeah, that's right. I asked Bishop Bullshit. That's what I'm gonna call you forever. Bishop Bullshit. Bishop Bullshit. I asked Bishop Bullshit. I said, did you give him a nickname already? If he was an Aquarius, why did I ask him that? Because I was manifesting a black man and an Aquarius. I wanted to see if this backfired. Oh, my cheeks hurt. I was trying to talk about that too. Joy. It makes you weak. Really? When I laugh, it happens right here. Where's that? Underneath the ribs. I get weak. And so from there up, I collapse. And then I smile so big. And my cheeks pull my face muscles real hard and it starts to hurt. And I'm like holding them down while I'm still laughing because it hurts to smile that hard. Really? Yeah, I've been kind of in a playful mood all day. Anyways, moving on. The Palladians have a word to speak with us. Where are we at? Oh man, we're back at your neural pathways. Fuck. So you visualize like you're at the crossroads. That sounds about right. All right. Gosh, where are we? I don't know. Page 255. In order to identify your erroneous neural pathways and neural plates that need to be cleared, you need to use clairvoyance, intuition, clairaudience, and creative visualization. Creative visualization is the guided process that follows consistence of going into a deep meditative state, then imagining a movie screen at the outside edge of your aura. Okay, I never was taught this. I don't know. I think we read this last time and I'm rereading something. But that's how it works. Really? You're in a dark space of your mind and then all of a sudden, just like that, a movie screen. And I tried to explain that. Now that's where it starts. But eventually that movie screen, or as I called it, a holographic image or an apparition, plays on top of our screen. Really? And that's where you can't detach from the two realities. They come together. I closed the door on purpose. Thank you. Then imaging or imagining a movie screen outside the edge of your aura. And that's how everything is. Really? How close is your eyesight? Your awareness to your body? How far do you project your eyes outside of your body? Okay, forget it. On the screen, you project an image of your own head. Then you ask to see or feel places in your brain where you have altered neural plates that absorb your spontaneity and honest responsiveness. Oh, yeah. We were talking about authenticity, and there's something wrong with your brain that makes you lie. You're trying to figure out where the blockage is in your brain that makes you act unauthentic, that makes you have calculated responses or just no response. Definitely not the truth. I get it. Supposedly, it's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I am fully aware of when I'm about to say something. Like Bobby, I don't know, yesterday morning before that, when we faced family issues, I had no idea that card was going to come up when they were shoving his brother in my face. And I had no idea why they were doing it. But I knew if I even talked about it, that this was going to be uncomfortable and hurtful, and he was going to get his feelings hurt if I just start talking about his brother. Which I would say on my side, that's growth. Because has there ever been a limitation to what I talk about when it comes to you? And that's where you saw I didn't want to hurt your feelings because I knew even bringing this up, but I didn't understand why God did what he did. He did that. Everything he does in my life is to a testimony to the message that he'll have me deliver later, which is by the time I deliver the cards, it's only confirmation to what he's put me through. You guys go to card readers to see what's going to happen. I've shown you at the highest level that what's made to happen is based on what the planets are doing. Those planets, so right now we're connecting with a star system out there. A star system has connected with my energetic field and is sending me messages. I wasn't aware of what messages. I just knew I had to pull out this book and the pain in my back. Really? The pain in my ass is what is it? I think I'm drunk in the Holy Spirit. I didn't get no like expensive weed or nothing. I just been laughing and giggling all day long at everything. Really? Yes. Pain in my neck. They are. It's right below the neck. All right. Anyways, so you're gonna ask God to show you where you need to work, what part of your brain you need to work. Matthew 6:33. Seek God in all things. I'm dying out here, God. Hmm. On the screen, you project an image of your own head, then ask to see or feel the place in your brain where you have created neural plates or observed your spontaneity and honest responsiveness. It would not be uncommon for you to have 1 to 4 erroneous neural pathways within neural plates, all pertaining to a single issue. Well, I didn't do any tracking of the mind. I do it through the other chakra systems. This is a good way to look at it. I learned the structure of the mind when I got that stupid job at the memory care. I learned what I took notes. It's in my Buddha book over there. Do you remember? No, that's why I was taking. Why do you think I care about memory? I lost my memory, stupid. I try to remember shit, but that's where it is. The repetitiveness becomes in a memory. After I've done it a couple times, I catch a sense of pattern. It's pattern recognition. I've done this before. This is what I always do. Oh, don't do this. Really? Well, if you know that my only training is to break patterns, then anything you do that's monotonous is going to make me uncomfortable. I'm going to catch your patterns. I'm not going to try to break all of them, but that's what I'm taught. Why? I mean, you don't have to change the way that you tie your shoes or brush your teeth, but in essence, every bit of change gives new life. If you try something new, then you have a new experience. Really? Mm-hmm. People fear change. They're looking for something comfortable and to never have to do it again, do anything else but that. That's monotonous. Really? Mm-hmm. Something like Russ. He's 30 and it's awful. Even Marshall had to I don't want to talk about. I just don't. As soon as I did, I got all tired and had to close my eyes. Too tired to talk about you, old man. No, like Russ, seriously, are you ever gonna grow up and start dressing differently? Are you ever gonna cut your hair? Are you ever gonna try something different in your entire fucking life? And that's what I mean. He'll go to different places but eat the same old food, stay in the same restaurants, do everything that Americans do. He doesn't do anything but what everybody else is doing. There's nothing significant about him chasing everybody else's dreams. That's sad. Now, as much as I love Russ, that's all of you. I guess in one case or another, I probably honor Bobby not having dreams than chasing someone else's. I guess it's better to go with the flow than go with the pack. I mean, I know he's had some diverse different jobs. That's something. But then again, you look at, oh, man. I'm not going to look. Let's look into the book here. It would not be uncommon. Okay, you may have numerous sets of erroneous pathways covering a wide array of personal issues. Oh, this is going through your brain. I go through your feelings. Why? Because my brain was mushy. I couldn't go through my memories. They have to be triggered. Really? I go the opposite. Okay, so how it works is a memory triggers a feeling. Okay, but because my memories are turned off, it's like, did you experience a head injury? I could have. I don't remember. Sorry. Is this sad? Only sometimes. When I think about, missing certain memories I wish I had. The rest of it now, it's like you just wake up a brand new person. It's like, oh fuck. 51st dates. And that's it. I kissed Bobby for what I thought was the first time. I'm sure he's kissed him before. That was the first time I had a memory of it. He said I slept with him 12 times. I only have met one memory of doing it. Everything I've ever done since the age of 40 has all been new to me. There's people that have told me I've done these things before, but I don't have the experience or the feeling. Sometimes I will get somebody telling me their story will flash me back to my own memory. And that's how that works. because I'll feel how they feels to be them and then I'll remember me. Really? Yeah. But that's how it works. So I have to go through the terrible feeling to find out what happened to me. I don't even know why I feel this way. You know exactly why you feel this way. You're avoiding the memory because the memory comes with the feeling. I'm already fucking knee deep in the feeling and I don't even know what the memory is. And then I see the memory and it makes sense why I feel so bad. Then I start to really fall into it. But that's called the dark night of the soul, and that's called healing. Now, when I'm in the memory, I have to replay it for me is the first time. But at this moment, and just like you, when you go back to these memories, you're now outside of them. You're completely engulfed with the feeling of what it meant to be you, but you're outside of you watching you. Watch closely. It's that horrible part of the movie you don't want to watch that people usually turn their head or they walk out. You can't walk out on yourself right now. Watch what happened because you're trying to tell yourself something. That memory is you, and that's you trying to tell you, the future you, something. You need to know what you didn't learn in that moment, or you can't go forward. That moment in time stunted your growth to where, in this moment in time, you cannot go forward. You have to face what happened in that moment in order not to repeat it and go forward. And that's where your memories haunt you. They haunt you because it's the lesson you unlearned. Like, what am I going to learn about somebody that abused me? Compassion, forgiveness, and understanding. You haven't learned that. You're still hatred. You still carry a lot of hatred towards what happened to you. First off, you've never even told anyone how much you hurt, and you've never acknowledged that this hurt you. And that's where I go back to a lot of these memories. And that's what happened with Bobby the other day. I've never even really just fucking told him. Only in messages. And listen, my stomach's growling again when I say this. Why? It's coming from a certain energy, an energy field. Really? Which is my sacral. To the lower intestines and further down into your sexual organs. That's where Scorpio lies. Really? After you can get through that death and all of that, yeah. Then you're in the Sagittarius, you're free to move your legs and keep on keeping on. But you have to move through the chakra system of where these things hide. And that's really what it is we've been carrying a lot of wounds our whole life. We're wounded. And when we try to do something with a hurt muscle, with a bullet still in our, you know what I mean, in our leg, it won't let us use our leg like we should. And that's what I mean. You have blockages from the past. You're trying, example for me, I'm trying to move forward in a relationship. But all the bad things that I've had in a relationship that I hid from myself and from the world are haunting me. I have to face what happened to me. I have to feel like it what it was to be me. I have to console myself when nobody else did. I have to understand why I went through that and what I learned from it. And after that, I have to get out of that. Bring that part of me and show that part of me. After I understand that part, I bring that part to understand this part, which is actually, this is why I act this way. I know I act like this way because of something that happened to me a long time ago. And we don't hide, we hide that. So today or yesterday, I made a video and I claimed that I was toxic. And that's why I wouldn't mess with guys, certain guys. I won't go near certain guys because I'm toxic. And God came in with this post. He said, "You're not toxic, you're damaged. There's a difference." And you couldn't see it in the post, but God explained to me, and I wrote it in the post. I don't live a toxic lifestyle. I don't feed off of toxicity, and I don't keep toxic company around me. But I have toxic behaviors because I'm damaged, because I came from a toxic lifestyle. And that still, you know what I mean, flares up. Really? I'm still combustible. You just got to give me time to put my own fires out. The worst thing you can do is try to control me or what I'm going through. The only one that can do that is me. Really? Yeah. I have more self-discipline than anyone else because I've learned how to do this. I did all of this psychological work to myself just because that's all I had. God sent me in the fucking woods. He sent me in the streets. He sent me in places with nothing but these terrorizing thoughts and feelings. And I had Kobe and Pac and fucking Michael Jackson in the beginning to walk me through this shit. Naturally, people thought I was crazy, and that's fine. I was dealing with the levels of what made me crazy, which was turned off. And so as we get into this, it's asking you to have a visualization downloaded into you to show you what parts of your brain you need to work on. I'm telling you out of scientific matters because I didn't teach this. I didn't learn it through my brain. And that's where I say I started to learn it in this teaching. Where is it? It's so funny. I had this Buddha book right on my altar open because I wrote something down and I just put it away. I kept notes. I got this weird job that I manifested. No, I didn't. I did. I said I was trying to come up with great jobs for myself. I was like, maybe a security job because I like to tell on people. I was like, but maybe working with elderly because, I like older people. I was like, but, anything front desk. Somehow, one day I was waking up early in the morning. There's all the video to prove it. And I had a spirit, and I called it a shadow figure because it wasn't my spirit guides and I couldn't see its form. It was just a shadow. He said, as I was waking up, I'm opening my eyes, I'm in bed, and I'm opening my eyes, and I see a shadow figure as I'm about to open my eyes. He says, hey, they're hiring at the front desk. And I wake up and I tell everybody about this story. And the next day I was like, I sure hope that spirit comes back and tells me what job he was telling me about. Well, that job reaches out to me. I get this job and it's overnight concierge at a retirement and memory care place. In order to keep the job, you had to do like this insane amount of training. I did like 40 hours of training on how to deal with assisted living and memory care. And I took severe notes about the memory care and I kept them in this book. Really? Yeah. All right, hold on. I take notes because I have a memory of writing it down. It's one way that I can keep memories. I'm getting close to it. Here it goes. Here's all the terminology. Wounds, superficial wounds, hypoglycemia. I learned all these things and I never heard before. Psychiatric stroke. All these things I had never heard. I had to learn this stuff and I wanted to know this stuff. Why? I just never knew it. But I took specific notes when it came to the brain and where it stores information. Really? Yeah, let me just find it. Shock. Let me see. And I had to take these tests too. I'm not sure where they all are. I have a mixture of so many notes in here. Really? Oh, yeah. I'm serious. Diabetic. It's got to be further up or something. I know I have more notes on this because I kept them. Aliens. Memory loss, communication. Here we go. Here's some of it. There it is. I wrote it down. How the brain works. Really? Yeah, I write in all capitals, just so you know. Let's see. The temporal lobe is your sound, your speech, hearing, and what is it? Bottom, middle, and port. Okay, then you have the hippocampus, which is where you store learning, emotions, forming new memories, smell, and temporary storage. I was trying to understand what parts of my brain was where the fuck is my memories because I can access them. And that's where, stuff like that. Where does all this come? I didn't have the visualization. I actually learned this shit from a job. It's amazing what you can learn out there. The frontal lobe is where you do your thinking, your emotions, your muscle control, right? So if you've had frontal lobe damage, like that's where you have all those weird twitches and shit. Impulse control, sex, movement, judgment, problem solving, social behavior. Osseo, the occipital or some shit is where it interpretates your eye view. And that's what we were just talking about. How far is your projection of your eyes? And that's it, what your eyes see, language and reading. And that's what your interpretation. That's a part of your brain that interpretates the incoming information. Really? So I don't use that lobe. I use a third eye. It's a whole different, you know what I mean, connection. Where do they say this all comes from? They say it comes from a pineal gland, which is a crystal inside of everybody's brain. Everybody knows that the human only uses one portion of the brain, and it's only, I think, the left side. They use like 1% or 6% of the brain. I have had visualizations of sitting down with science and putting on these like weird caps or helmets that show my brain lighting up like a fucking Christmas tree. I've seen all of this, but this is how it works. And they're telling you this exercise we're doing with the Pleiadians is asking them, it's an invocation for them to show you visually what part of your brain needs work. What is this? The parietal lobe? I don't know. It's where it processes your senses. And that's where people can be in that particular one. You know what I mean? And you don't understand it, but a lot of abuse happens to your head over time. You could have fell as you were a baby, getting slapped around. My mom used to, dude, I have a fucking, literally, I have a scar on my head where she slapped me and I hit the corner of the wall and it busted my head open. But that's not even to mention all the people that punched me in the face and I knocked out. Really? Head damage, bro. So when it happens, like this right here, the processing of senses, you can literally be numb to certain feelings because you took a hit. You know what I mean? Your brain isn't healthy. In that sense, we should have all been running around with fucking helmets as children. Really? Yeah. And then I learned about all the dementias: vascular dementia, mixed dementia, the difference between Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And then there's Louis something. I can't remember. I don't know, body. Frontal temporal, that messes with your reasoning and your decisions, your temporal. Really? I took all kinds of notes. And that's because, your brain, it all processes through there, but you're not your thoughts. That's what I mean. Anybody could get in there and fuck with your thoughts. Take a fucking knife in there and mess around. So that's what this whole teaching is about right this moment. I want you to be aware of that. Let's get back into this bullshit, which is what? Visual meditation. On the screen, you project an image of your own head, then ask to see or feel places in your brain where you have created neural plates that obscure your spontaneity and honest responsiveness. And that's it. There's a part in your brain, and I've seen it. I've shared it in other videos where that it goes into, you know what I mean, trigger mode, and it'll start lying or it'll start doing things to protect it. All of a sudden, you've been triggered into your warrior mode or into your, you know what I mean, child mode, into victim mode, into all these things. You see people, go Kanye, go Kim, go Britney. And that's it. It's like all of a sudden they go Justin Bieber on that ass. They go Cardi B. What is it? You touched a wound. What did I say? It's not what you said. It's what was said before you. You crossed a boundary that person and you didn't establish. Really? Mm-hmm. And I promise you, once that person has crossed that line, you can't do anything. It's the Kali. They have gone into the darkness now. What did you say about my mom? You can't talk your way out of this. You have to let them self-soothe this down. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you from this moment forward. Really? And you were just an innocent bystander that triggered a very hurt person. Really? I'm just using some, well-known names in time, but we know them in all of our circles. And that was fucking, you know what I mean? They're just temperamental. And if you say the wrong thing, this person will lose their shit. Why? You just hit a wound. I know exactly what to say to make you act that way. I pulled up on B. B runs around here all day. I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom. Why? Because her biggest fear is not being good enough and they take away her baby like they did her first child. So she spends all day validating that she's doing everything right. And I pull up next to her and I said, how does riding around in the car with your baby and no car seat make you a good mom? I challenged her entire reality, the entire fucking reality that she tells herself, and I scared her to death. The next thing that came out of her mouth, call the po-po ho. Her second biggest fear, call the police. Meaning what? Admission of guilt. And she's been nothing but hateful and disgusting ever since then. Really? I challenged her lie. She tells everyone that she's a great mother. Now, why is it a lie? Because a great mother wouldn't have done that. A great mother would have walked the 2 blocks like I do with my kids to go get a fucking cheeseburger. A great mother would have not had their child in the front seat of some dude's ride trying to go get a french fry with no car seat. The same thing happened to Morgan. Morgan was out here doing the same thing. Why? Because she lost her kids. Morgan has grown kids. I feel for them. Did I lose mine? No. That's the difference between me and all your fucked up stories, guys. I sacrificed mine before they were taken away for my bad behaviors. Did I do anything right? You'll never understand that unless you were a kid that was ever adopted. You'll never fully understand that. So what it means to do what's right. At the end of the day, she's still the same selfish bitch that'll put her kids in danger for her own fleshly desires. And that's what I said. Anything for a happy meal, huh? She is literally 300 pounds, bro. What is she doing? Eating her feelings, hiding in her room, saying that she's in there being a good mother to her baby. Instead of taking her baby out and walking her around and showing her the world, she stands on the other side, leaves the baby in the homeless shelter with random staff because it's too cold to have a cigarette. The Eskimos were having babies outside. Quit playing around. It's all excuses. But when you say that, bro, you know that you're under fire. Why? Because they're going to fight this lie to the end, because this is the lie they live by, and they want everyone to believe their lie. But once you've seen the truth, you can't unsee the truth. You can't make me think that you're a great mom and that was just a mistake. When you were running around you were running around telling everyone how she fell off the bed and, you know what I mean, hurt herself, and you had to run to the doctors. I'm just saying it. There's stuff like that. You won't speak the truth. You won't tell people the truth because you want to preserve yourself. You say that you don't want to hurt their feelings, but that's not what it is. You don't want them to retaliate against you. Because if you know you said that shit to your mom or to your friend or to your lover or to your fucking boss or coworker, you'd have to deal with retaliation. And that's the only thing I have to worry about, but I try not to. As many fires as I've started in here, I always tell you, well, fuck. Now I gotta walk through this bitch like it ain't shit. I gotta walk through it. I gotta stand on my words and walk through the fucking coals of their fucking breath. Really? Yeah. But that's what happens. There's these self-protective mechanisms that go off inside of you that make you lie and cheat and steal and protect your false identity. It's self-preservation. They call it evil, narcissistic, unfeeling, low vibrational, karmic. What's really sad is where you're taught it. Who taught you this? Because you had to be taught this. The day that Charlie, whatever his face, died. Hey, Millie, what's the name of that guy? Damn, she can't hear me. She got her headphones on. What's the name of that guy? What's the name of that guy? Charlie.
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, the day that Charlie Kirk was shot, the same day this man killed this woman on the. It stuck with me more than his name. This man stabbed a Ukraine woman on a fucking train in North Carolina. And I watched that, and he did it with such precision for no reason. And I'm sitting there with such anger as the rest of the world is angry about this politician being shot. I am so angry about this woman being mutilated on a fucking train in front of in broad daylight for no reason whatsoever. And I watch him, and God, Jesus wants me to show forgiveness. There was another thing that happened too. I think it was a school shooting. I think that may have happened too at the same day. There was three horrific things that happened on that day. And I could find forgiveness for everything but that man. And it was so hard for me because I knew this was the definition of evil in my eyes, but my spirit was saying it wasn't. I had to understand that this is what he knew to do, and this is how he survived. He learned how to do something and he mastered it, which is event he probably just started out robbing people at knife point on the subway, but then he became good at it. I don't know. I'm sure he has a whole rap jacket to deal with it. But God wants us to forgive such evil people and understand that that woman in Ukraine, it was her time to leave. I don't understand, God. And even myself, I see evil only in the person. There's no spirit that made you do this. This was impulse. This was your brain. And that's where you take these documentaries and you look at these people. You put them under the microscope and you looked at what nature of what kind of nature did this person grow up in and who nurtured this person? Where did they learn these things? And that's where you learn that all these weirdos, it's like trained behaviors. It's like, how low will you go? You don't know where they've been. They normalize that shit. And that goes back to pedophilia. That shit is normalized at a young age. Why? Because it's revealed. I don't know what's going on with all these. I've seen it like multiple times. That Terrence Howard came out saying that he was having sexual experiences at the age of 4. I assure you that he didn't know at the age of 4 what to do sexually, but was taught. Who was teaching a child such things? Somebody that normalized it as a child. These are deviant behaviors passed down, hidden. The first time when I found out about my ex husband and his sister, no, I didn't, he wasn't my first time experiencing it. I found out about it from this guy in the church. He had told about it, and his mom had told about the situation. Really? And I went home with such disgust about the story of incest. I'd never heard of incest in my life. I thought it was a fucking joke. And I was so disgusted by it. But here was a man that I cared about, and he was just being honest about his intentions and why he did such things, and his reformative action, and how his family treated him, and what was required, and the rehabilitation of what happened after they handled it quite severely. And I go and I tell my mom, and my mom, all wise and shit, she's like, it really happens more than you would know. She just confirmed that this is a real thing that happens out there. She had never told me stories. I never knew, I'd never seen such things. So I had witnessed this before my ex husband tells me about his sister fucking molesting him. This wasn't my first rodeo, but it was much closer. And so I was already supposed to see it in the eyes of compassion, but nevertheless, the disgust was there. It's hard to have compassion and forgiveness for things you just think are absolutely fucking wrong. But we're not the judge of what's right and wrong, and that's what God says. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now, here's the deal. When this came out as they were children, it was reported and nothing came of it. So they got away with it. So if there's no consequence to bad behavior, it's not deemed as bad behavior. And that goes back to R. Kelly. Nobody said what R. Kelly was doing was wrong until it was all the way wrong. You know what I mean? And that's even Diddy. How many people enjoyed his lifestyle? And it was only wrong later. And that goes back to Epstein. Every man's dream is a young woman. He got him as young as he could. And as sick as it is, it's sick, but it's tradition. It's traditionally sick. But that's how it was. And if we don't stop what was, it will be again and again. How do we stop it? We can't stop the fight with hate. We have to stop it with love. We have to love them out of it, not hate them to where they hide and do more of it. We have to rehabilitate them. All the things of your mind, the crazy thoughts that you have, your coping mechanisms, everybody has them and they run to certain things, which is sex, drugs, alcohol, food, you know what I mean? Exercise, all kinds of shit. When you don't feel good, you do something that makes you feel good, correct? I teach you, especially on a Friday night, we do shadow work. We deal with what doesn't make us feel good, so we stop running from it. And then we don't feel bad. We don't look for things to fulfill the bad feeling. We feel the bad feeling so that we don't have to feel bad anymore. Basically, the process is first to identify the functions of the erroneous neural pathways. You may touch the screen with your hands in order to feel the energy, or ask for messages, or ask for a movie to demonstrate the erroneous behavior. What's that? Just seeing your thought patterns or seeing your actions? This is another way to do it, I suppose. I never learned this way. Really? This is what Kobe does with me. We do this on Monday. Really? What? Reflection? I call it running the reels, which is what? He replays my behaviors, my patterns. He replays what I said and what I did so that I can evaluate myself. We evaluate together. He doesn't say much. He waits until I figure out what I did. And then he'll ask, just like a therapist, he'll ask prompting questions, open-ended questions. Kobe never said shit about my love life. He never persecuted me for how I treat men. He never said shit. He's been with me since the beginning, pushing me to get closer to fall in love again. The only thing he ever said to me about it was, do you want to explain why you always run away from relationships? That's as mean as he got with me. He doesn't get mean. He'll give me a look of somewhat disappointment, and I don't like the look, so I don't disappoint him. I know that he expects more. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when I'm rolling around on the ground with Pac and it's a tickle torture, I feel like he's giving us both the look, and well, I'll pick myself up. I'll play better next week. Really? I mean, sometimes we just have some fun. Really? Well, he was nowhere to be found when I got myself in spiritual court, I'll tell you that. After you identified the behavioral pattern, which is crucial if you hope to consciously enough change it, you will utilize the grid pattern of the quantum transfiguration chamber of light. I'm going to stop there. Why? Because that's a lot of information. What does that mean? You realize that you've been doing this and where it comes from. I'm being called to my sexuality. I didn't understand why I was doing this and where the fuck it came from. Bobby was fully aware of my sexual patterns. I wasn't. I had to see them play out to understand what was happening. Now, again, with that, I tried to explain that to you. Don't let anyone persecute you for your behaviors. Not to say that your behaviors are condoned, but understand them. You can't even understand that you're even playing out a pattern until you've done it at least a million times. Now, once you realize you have a pattern, trying to break it is going to be the next battle. It's like, okay, I know that I always do this. I'm seeing the funniest one. I used to flip everybody off on the streets. Really? Oh, fuck, dude. If you fucking went slow, if you were an idiot on the streets in any way, I would literally pull up next to you or get in front of you and reach my hand out like Ace Ventura and flip you the fuck off. I would do it to truckers. I would do it to anybody. I would flip them off. And this is a very unhealthy pattern. Really? It was a pattern. It's just what I did. Why? That's just what I did. And I got away with it. And nobody told me to stop until I realized, hey, dude, this is kind of dangerous. And you should probably stop flipping people off like this. Really? Well, I got myself in this one situation. Oh, man. I thought she was going to get me. I didn't flip her off. I threw a candy at her face and it hit her right in her cheek. What? While you were driving? Yeah, bro. I used to throw pennies out my car at people too. Really? I had some bad patterns. Seriously? I wasn't a good person, dude. I just didn't do no harm. I didn't like people. Really? Yeah. I'm just going to stop telling on myself because I've already done that for 3 years. That's all it is. I recognize that I've been doing this and I know where it comes from and I know why I do it, but I'm going to try to stop doing this. Stand back. And that's all I can do is try to stop it. But you must understand, this is my behavior. This is how I've always lived life. And now all of a sudden, I'm trying to stop the way that I've lived and live in a higher, a, a higher chord, a higher accord. Now that's where it is. Some days I don't even care. I'm just going to be a filthy fucking bitch. And why? Because I want to take my flesh off and just be my ugly self sometimes. And God said I could. And on those days that I feel like I shouldn't be so comfortable being so naked in my darkness, the Cali card comes out and says, go on with your bad self. I never, I'm never allowed to do it unless I'm allowed to do it. And it feels good to do that. And only someone like Marshall understands how good it feels to be bad. I ain't heard nobody but my words, my thoughts. I have fucked up thoughts and I put them into fucked up words and people's feelings get hurt. And I'm not supposed to do that. Well, what else am I supposed to do? Think happy thoughts. You know, as I'm saying this, my heart chakra is completely going off right now. Really? Yeah, I'm filled with loving light. Come here, somebody give me a hug. Let me love you. Really? Yeah, it's in your brain. And that's why, don't believe every one of your thoughts that tells you you're fat and nobody likes you and you're all alone and you're never going to be rich and you're going to die alone and, whatever it tells you. It just takes in information and stores it and processes it and doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. The connectors don't work so well. And this thought didn't make a feeling. This what you said didn't actually it went in one ear and out the other. It never entered my brain. I never considered that thought ever. Brain damage? I could. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I can't remember. I know I got fucked up. Like I got knocked out. My first husband knocked me out. I remember getting knocked out by him multiple times. Really? Yeah, but he was just drunk. Was he like that all the time? No. The second husband, he was never drunk when he did it. He was just psycho. What'd you say to him? I don't remember. But now that I know I talk so much shit, I feel like I had a lot to do with this. Really? I think so. I take responsibility for getting knocked out. I mean, shit. Have you met me? Marshall Mathers wasn't made for me, then I don't know who is. Who in the hell could possibly? But that's where it is. He could fucking give it, but he couldn't take it. He's so sensitive to the very words that he speaks. Really, you could call me a bitch, all kinds of shit. Your words don't affect me, really, but mine will kill you. You don't want to fuck with shade. No, for real. But if I talk about Jesus, I won't get paid. Hold on, Kanye. Shut up. Not you right now. No, fucking Eminem. You're not allowed to talk about his daughter. You're not allowed to talk. Dude, I talked about his daughter on. Dude, I do all that. Really? Yeah. So, I'm sure he wanted. I mean, I talked to. Say all the things you're not supposed to. What did he say? Lucky is a walking intrusive thought. No, I can see your thoughts and they're coming out of my mouth because you don't know how to speak. They're not in the cards. I never even carried cards before I did this. I still don't. They stay at home. Fuck, I'm going to be out there carrying cards for. Oh, let me check the energy. I feel it. I feel it. Really? Do you need a card to convey? I'll check the cards too. And that's what happened. Oh my God, that stupid cunt-ass cunt. That cunt-ass cunt. I hate these cunt-ass cunts. This chick I called the High Priestess. She was from Europe too. Where was she from? Fuck, I don't remember. Anyways, she was about to go file for divorce. Seriously? Yes. And I told her to do it, but she's like, she asked me to check the cards for her before she went to do it. Nobody's ever petitioned me, and because it was serious, I went and checked the cards, and I got full confirmation. And then she tells me what her cards were. I was like, why the fuck you tell me to check the cards when you already checked the cards? You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. And that's it. At the moment of your biggest decision, you want to come to me and see if God told me something different. Why do you not trust your own intuition? Same girl that was concerned about Google witches. Really? Yeah. I'm not worried about your stupid witchcraft. Really? I am the craft. Seriously? Stupid. I don't know. Those are your fears. Your mind has you limited that somebody is more powerful than you and you're powerless. And therefore, you're always seeking power over another, or at least to exert your power. And that goes back to Wolfman. Does he mean to be like that? I guess when you run around with a bunch of testosterone built up assholes like him, he has women issues, obviously. He's completely cut off from the divine feminine, which is anything of feeling. The Emperor reverse is a tyrant. It's a Trump energy. I always see him in his flesh, but God wants to paint him in a different picture. And on a day like today, the only temptation was not to give in magically. So I was tempted with his bitch ass and then some bishop bullshit. Magically speaking, I'm going to stay home and pray to Alistair and leave everything alone. Really? Well, again, and I told you that I went out there and did my ceremony, and must have moved in a whole bunch of new families. There's all kinds of eyes on me. This is the last blessing you're going to get. You're going to miss me when I'm gone. Really? Yeah? Nobody else is going to bless your ass. You're going to think I cursed you and I was the only thing keeping you, under the fucking, in the light. Realistically? I mean, seriously. What is anybody around here doing to better their lives? It's not about taking action. It's about reflection. You're going to go out and repeat your patterns because that's all you know to do. You're always going to do what you do, regardless to the outcome, but yet you wonder why everything comes out like shit because you haven't tried to do it differently. You keep applying your same method of what you were taught. You haven't learned a new way to approach life, so you're doomed to fail again. Why? I'm not sure. Each person. Self-sabotaging, and that's me. Did I fail? No. I gave it up. I was always running away from problems, but I was always seeking new life in the running away from it. Really? Yeah. I realized that quite late in the game. I was always listening to these tarot readers and they were talking about your runner. I'm like, well, they seem to run away from me. It took me a long time to realize that was me. I'm the one that's always running away from the conflict. Really? Yeah, but I explained that 2 days ago. What am I running away from? Myself? The fight that happens inside of myself when I try to get close to someone else? I built myself up to be a certain way, which was not to get close to someone. These patterns and these self-protective mechanisms were built there as a solid foundation to keep me safe for the rest of my life. So now as I go out there and I try to break my own rules, I'm met with a lot of turmoil within myself. And it takes me back to, if you do this, this will happen. When I try to go next to someone, it reminds me of what happened when I got next to someone. And it shows me how painful this could be. It's trying to protect me from what happened before. And I have to acknowledge what happened before and reassure my mind that it won't happen again. And if it does, it'll be okay. Something that I didn't tell myself before. When these things would happen, there was nobody to tell me it'll be okay and that'll never happen to you again. I'm here with you. Now I'm there telling myself that. And that's where it is like, you're afraid to do this again because of something bad that happened. That keeps you afraid of anything good, anything good from happening, because you're afraid of the bad. You have to tell yourself, I know that something bad happened to you, and I acknowledge your fear, and that it's not going to happen again. And if it does, it's going to be okay. I'm here with you. Really? And that's your spirit to your mind. That's your nurture to your inner child. The younger part of you that didn't really survive that situation. You want to show that part that you did survive and that you're ready to face it again. But when you try to face it again, that part isn't ready to face it again. It's afraid to face it again. Really? Yeah, we call that shadow work. I'm filled with them. And I teach you how to identify yours and heal them as I heal my inner self. Really? It's somewhere up there, my brain. And that's why people didn't get that. What's in there? Quiet? Nothing? Till an image, a thought, something? And that's why I can be so connected to the divine. My brain is turned off, dude. In the beginning, I had the personalities, which was parts of my brain arguing all the time. Really? Going at it. This part saying this part, this part. How many parts did you have? 7. There were 7 different parts of my brain going off at all times. It got extremely chaotic when the last one came out. And then I went to Mother Cabrini's shrine one day, and I promise you, it all went silent. I never heard their voice again. Not any of them. It was the scariest thing. Everything that told me how to live, all the voices in my brain that told me what things were and how to live and how to dress and how to talk and what to do, just went away one day. And I just sat in quiet. And that's when I had to start making decisions for myself. So I would go out to do something. Now, even though the voice wasn't there fighting me, there was a feeling, a fear. Something was fighting me. I couldn't do this. I don't know what's wrong. I can't do this. I'm scared. Something's wrong. Instead of getting back to that arguing voice, I would take me back to a memory of what I'm scared of. Now, when I go back to that memory, if it's attached to this happening more than once, it'll show me all the times it happened and the pattern. My abuse started as a child, and it never stopped until I woke up at 39 years old. I was still allowing people to abuse me because I couldn't remember that this is what they do when they abuse you. I couldn't recognize the patterns of that each person treated me the same way before they abused me. I'd already forgot about the abuse, so I forgot about how it started, what led to it, and how it ended. If I could remember how it's, you know what I mean? I could recognize, that. Now I recognize things after I see the pattern. I've seen this play out a few times now. Now I know that this is a pattern that people play. But I didn't remember that because I forcefully forgot people. I didn't know what Bobby was about. Only after he did it over and over and over did I finally remember this is what he did all those years ago. This is how I got hurt before. This is why I tried to forget him. This is why my brain tried to protect me from getting close to him. He's just going to hurt you. But I didn't know that. I didn't know what he had done to hurt me, which was what? Ghost me. He would ghost me. He would stand me up and he would ghost me. And I found it later. I found it, I found the memories and I put it all together later. If I do this, you do this. So then I started touching it. I started playing with it. I tried to see if this was really the pattern. I was trying to understand mine. When I get with you, I act like this. Okay, but when you get with me, you act a certain way too. At first, I was too busy trying to analyze how I acted and how I felt. Then I started realizing that his actions were making me feel a certain type of way. So I started to realize he always acts this way, so I act this way. Well, what makes him act this way? So then I started pushing the buttons. I know what your patterns are. And when you pattern, I pattern. Really? Yeah. And I learned that. And that's what I learn with everyone. But it's pattern recognition in myself. And that's what I mean. As I spend all day recognizing, you know what I mean, analyzing myself. So when I stop looking at myself and I look up and I look at you, I'm reading you from all the information I've learned about reading myself. So some of it is spiritual. I don't see colors coming off of you. I'm getting actual information off of your non-verbal communication. Really? Yeah. And that's because I'm getting information off myself from nonverbal communication and everybody else. Really? They're sending out thoughts. And when you spend all day analyzing thoughts, you can hear thoughts. Really? You just get in tune. The only way you can be in tune with other people is once you tune into yourself. You recognize yourself in other people. You recognize your shadows, your behaviors. And instead of being repulsed or uh, hypocritical or critical in general or judgmental, they're met with compassion, understanding, forgiveness. But the pattern is the pattern, and that's what it is with Russ and I. It took me, we were already 18 months into the pattern before I realized I didn't even know what we're fighting about. What are we fighting about? All I know is you say something stupid and I go all crazy about you and tell everybody what a piece of shit you are, and then I make excuses for you. And what was the point of all this? We would go back and forth all day challenging each other. For 18 months, I didn't understand what we were doing. I barely probably put it in words like a week or two ago and sent it to him. What was it? Rejecting each other by giving each other all the attention in the world? How does that work? Okay. I said that, you know what I mean? Russ wasn't worthy of, of being my companion. Really? Well, I mean, it was mean to say. I gave him all authority. All right, Russ, you're my twin flame, and you're supposed to trigger me, and I'm supposed to heal. So we did it as a team for a while. But then I realized that what this is supposed to lead to is a holy union. And I'm looking at Russ, I'm like, Russ, you're not going to marry me and you're not stepdad or father material And I rejected him. I told him he wasn't worthy of being that man for me. And that's where it started. Why did I reject him? Fears, I suppose, based on his outside or based on his current life state. I didn't see it. But I think that it got muddled because in the beginning I did. I seen him as a worthy, you know what I mean, companion. But then later his behaviors and his lifestyle was like, nah, this will never work. And I tried to, I guess maybe at first I was kind about it. I was like, Russ, I can't be talking to you like this when I find my freaking, you know what I mean, when I go into my holy union. I told the same thing to Marshall. We won't be this close when I'm in a relationship. And that put a division between us. What do you mean we won't be this close? I can't be this close with you when I'm that close with someone with another man. And that's where it started, was the rejection. And I did the same thing. Realistically, what do you think Bobby's so hurt about? We can't be close once I get a man. They know they're it's over. They failed. It failed. They don't some of them don't want me to win at all, but they don't want me to win without them. They don't want me to give all my love and energy and my fortune and my fame and my future to another man. They know that my future is secure. They just don't like the idea that that's not going to be them. Because at one point, that's all I wanted, was it for them to be them. And then I took that away from them. And they despised me for it. But that's where they play victim to it. It's like I had to find somebody that could be what you wanted. And so, anyways, I rejected Russ. So then Russ spent the rest of the time trying to act like he was better than me and that he didn't care about me and that, you know what I mean, I was nothing. And so I did the same for the rest of the time. And that's all we did, was reject each other, go to war, show each other, try to pretend like neither of us mattered, that we were nothing. And in doing so, we gave each other nothing, all the energy. And that's where it looked like. It looked like I loved you the most. And when it was all said and done, I turned to God and I felt that way. I felt it. I knew it for sure. God loves you the most. He loves you more than he loves me. Really? That's when I recognized his true power. What is it? God's love. God loves him. God loves him to death. I could cry about it. It's so heavy. Why? Because it's Lucifer. God never loved one angel more than that angel. That's what gave him such power and authority, because he was God's most precious angel. Until mankind came, and then came the rivalry. Now God had other children that were more precious than Lucifer. And Lucifer was jealous. Because now, you know, all of the praises and all eyes were on mankind. They weren't, on Lucifer, God's, morning star, his precious angel. Now everybody looked to man as his new precious child. And that drove him crazy. Really? He wanted that power. He wanted the attention that mankind had from the universe, which was ultimately God's blessing, God's favor. And that's what we all questioned. God had favor over mankind that he never showed to any angelic being. Even Samael, all of us, we fell to the questioning of it. Even myself, created as a woman, and that's it. As a divine member, that took the human form, even in the human form, I didn't understand it. And I questioned it fully. How can you forgive them? How can you love them so much? They are so unworthy of your greatness. And that's where Lucifer and I and all the darkness stood together. And not just ourselves, not just the 2/3 of God's army and Lucifer and myself, but a huge portion of the universe did not understand this new creation of God, helpless, useless, powerless, but yet all favored and highly blessed. Ability to play God, to do anything and be forgiven? Such power, such anointing. Why, God? Why them? Why? Hmm. Was it just them, or is it every single one of you? Jesus tried to make you understand that that's how much he loves each and every one of his children. Those that choose to accept that love. Just because you don't love him doesn't mean he doesn't love you. He created you. He gave you life. You can say that it came from your mother, but it didn't. She just held the life that he gave to you. And she might have helped it or hindered it, but nevertheless, your life is that of God's. I saw it. It was really strange. I sat there. I kept trying to figure it out. God kept using me to get to him. And he kept showing me very obviously that I was less important than what he wanted me to do. My feelings were less important than getting across to Russ how much he loved him. So it's not finally I just gave in. God wants you, God told me to tell you. God will say that. Go show him my love. God knows when he needs it more. And God uses me. Really? And I thought that was bullshit. Seriously? Yeah, but I'm his messenger. And I could feel it. I can feel it in other people too. One time, I'll never forget this experience. I can see it happening again. One time when I had my Instagram open, some girl, I don't know if she popped in my stories or she became a follower or something, but I looked at her face. And as I was just looking at her profile picture, I could hear her spirit guides, her angelical realm speaking to me. Look at my beautiful, look at my beautiful starseed. Look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? She's such a beautiful. I could feel their love as they were introducing this person to me. The Holy Spirits. Oh man. Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel your ancestors. They love you so much. They are with you. They are sending your love. I can feel it. It puts me to tears. It's the only way I can explain what I feel. God's love for people and the spirit realm for you guys. Oh, it breaks you to your knees. Really? Hey, it's not mine. I don't like you at all. But I can feel his love for you, and that makes me compassionate about whatever you are. That's that Christ consciousness. The ability to see beyond what stands in front of you. And sometimes I'm blinded to the actual person. You could be dressed up as a whole something, and I don't even know what you're dressed up as because I can't see that. I see your energy. Really? Not what you're trying to pretend to be, but what you really are. I never saw, maybe I saw Eminem when I was asleep, but when I woke up, I only saw Marshall. I saw the man behind the mask. Typically, yeah. It's hard too when, someone like Lewis hides behind such a strong mask and you believed it. Really? I believed your lie, but only because you did. You believed it so well that you made everyone else believe it. I couldn't believe Bobby. I don't think he ever even tried to really say that he had a happy marriage. I just didn't believe he had a life worth that he was so afraid to lose. No. And even though Russ kept trying to tell me, that he had a happy life and he had everything that he wanted, his actions were completely against that. And all of his songs, he tried to say how accomplished and how successful and how happy he was. But yet he kept going out being unhappy and always buying more stuff and nothing ever being satisfying. And then the true self started to reach out, started to tell on him during his songs that something was wrong. Was something really? I don't know. Is he really hiding a hard childhood? I don't know. I don't want, and that's where he said, he made a song talking about, you know, to who can say what suffering is. A rich kid with no family, Richie Rich suffered in a different way than poverty kids suffer, but they still suffer. They say it's better to cry in a sports car than it is to cry in a fucking Honda, but we're still crying about the same things. How does, what I mean, the luxuries of life make pain easier? As far as his troubled childhood, it may have been troubling for him, but just because it wasn't the same trouble that my childhood brought doesn't mean it didn't bring the same trauma or trauma responses. Really? I believe, from my understanding, that God showed him a great deal of favor in protecting him from a troubled childhood, but he couldn't protect him from everything. Really? Yeah, it's my understanding. But to say that he had a perfect childhood, no, nobody does. And look at his parents; they're all types of fucked up. You can't look at those parents and think that he had a perfect life. You just want him to. He's just showing everyone that he's made up for his imperfect life and his imperfections, same as Marshall. And they think that they've made up for it, like Lewis, with material success. Right now, Lewis and his mom, that's the first, that's the most bonding this male has done with his mother figure, which is dealing with whatever was holding him back from being close to her and choosing to be close to his father and his stepmother instead. Now, again, a relationship of that magnitude took um, compromise on both sides, because I'm sure that she's equally as resentful towards Lewis for how he's treated her over the years. It takes two to tango. We were talking about it, you know what I mean? And that's just it. There's karmic family members, there's healing in family, there's all kinds of different family dynamics. But people always walking around pretending like they had the perfect family are playing bullshit. Happy days. The fucking, you know what I mean? Leave it to Beaver. We're more like married with children. You know what I mean? Seriously, I'm sitting at home smoking cigarettes trying to figure out how to cook for you while you're selling shoes. And our kids are weird. Really? I'm just saying. Life. What was that? What was that show too? There was a bunch of them. They were called daytime shows of just regular families that made it okay to be a dysfunctional family until everybody tried to be, the Kardashians and all this bullshit. Really? That's bullshit. You want to have a better family setting, but you don't want to pretend like you're not a family. Like you don't get on each other's nerves, that there's not, you know what I mean, farting and cursing and crying going on in the family. Really? Yeah. And everybody bitching about the dog won't, you know what I mean? Simple shit. We touched a lot of areas here. I think ultimately we just went into the brain and saw what's in there. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. And I just used the teaching methods of what we've been focusing on this week. It's all we do. In the spirit realm, we call it shadow work. I'm a spiritual, I'm a freaking, yeah, a spiritual psychoanalyst in that sense. I trace it through chakras. But, we can bring out, and that's where I said I'm getting ready to the place where I'm about to go to the highest level of religion and science and medicine until I'm expose myself as, you know what I mean, as the making of God, what God has made in me. I'm not one of a kind. I'm just the only one that's done this kind of work. But I continue to do it every day. As a master alchemist, you have to. You have to repeat the magnum opus every day, throughout the day, as many times as you have to process. That's going out and taking action and coming back and reflecting so that you got the wisdom of what you just, the steps you took before you take any more steps. Reflect on the steps you've taken. Were those the right steps? Could you have stepped better? Where are you going to go from now? Do you have the right grounding, or you need to sit here for a minute before you take another step? Really? That's how that works. If you're too busy going forward, you're not seeing anything. You have to take pauses. And so this is a really good one. As far as that card, we'll save that for tomorrow. Really? Sometimes it happens. I'm burnout. I'm super burnout. How do we take a sign? What did we call it? Erroneous neural pathways. I'm going to call this how the spirituality works in the brain. Otherwise, I could just say alien downloads to the brain. That's why I always make fun of those funny fucking visuals where they're like showing fucking, rainbows going into your head and light pouring into your head. I was like, yeah, it's straight into your chakra. Wait till you can see it through your third eye. Lord forbid you speak on it. Oh, the power of Christ compels you. Really? Well, we started with witchcraft, and that's how we got. And that's it too. Where did you learn all the witchcraft? Because I am the craft. All this is when you wake up, bro. There's levels to enlightenment, but once you transcend your conscious mind, you access what they call as the superconscious, which is what I call it the soup. I've always called it the soup, which is what? Where all conscious life that has ever been experienced is poured in there, including your lives. Every past life. There's another word called the Akashic Records, where the stories of all lives that were ever lived are there. Really? Yeah. It doesn't really matter. To be honest, you're already on a pattern from past lives. If you were, you're right where you're supposed to be. You've been doing this for as long as it takes you to learn your lesson. Once you learn your lesson, you'll continue on your path. Your path is already determined. Really? How long it takes you to get there? Who fucking knows? You and your fun ass free will. You're just free willy over here. You want to take whatever time you want. That's that fucking Knight of Pentacles, the slowest moving energy. Like, bro, they said an eternity, and you are literally taking an eternity. Realistically, well, I mean, I waited to the last days to learn some fucked up lessons myself. Did you never learn this in other lives? Well, Lilith didn't learn shit. So, no. All my other lives have come back to teach my first life what it didn't know, while it's doing shit that it thought it never could do before. Really? That's pretty much what's going on in your life. Your higher self is trying to guide you through shit you think you've never done before, and it's just trying to re-empower you to be as powerful you were before. But until then, you just keep repeating your powerless acts that we call patterns, programs, conditions, beliefs, ways of life. What are you going to have for breakfast tomorrow? Same thing you have every time. Why don't you try something deadly and different? Like what? I don't know. There's like 40 different ways to eat an egg. Why don't you try an egg, egghead? Why did the... Who came first, the chicken or the egg? I love that story. Realistically, yeah. The chicken came filled with eggs. Did you know that when a chicken's born, Mr. Plum taught me this, it already has every egg that it is ever going to have for the rest of its life inside of it? Really? Yeah. Same with you, egghead. You have everything you need to live a successful life. You just need to focus on what your higher self is telling you and not the people outside of you. Really? Because they don't know what the fuck to do with their own life. Why are you letting them tell you what to do with yours? Are they your parents? Oh yeah. Well, how long are they your parents? How long are you gonna give them authority over your life? God said honor your and respect your parents, not give all authority to them for the rest of your fucking life. Really? Hey, that's why he called himself your father. I am your father. I think I'm fried out. Really? Yeah, my circuits might be blown. I'm a little tired. My new life starts tomorrow. I have to wake up at bright and early and pack up the old life and unload the new life. Really? Yeah. What are you packing up? I don't know what I haven't packed in my car already. Seriously, yeah. And that whole situation with the bed, that was annoying. I handled that so well. There was a million things I could do, and the best thing to do was just be patient. Really? Well, I mean, there was a million ways to fix this problem, and I was just like, well, we'll just let God fix this problem. Seriously, yeah, he'll fix it, just not right away. When? The last goddamn minute? Really? Come on, God, quit playing around. Seriously, it doesn't bother nobody but me. Why? Because things didn't go all the way my way. Well, this is the way it was gonna go. Really? I wasn't in control. I mean, I guess I was when I said, how did you fuck this up? All right, truthfully, the bed that they gave her is so much smaller than the bed that was in my room that I'm sleeping on that I thought the one that I was sleeping on was a queen. So that must make this a king or a full size. And so I asked the maintenance man, and they're like, no, oh, the only beds in this building are queen and king. And so I came in and I looked at my bed, and sure enough, if for those that don't know, two twins make a king. So I lifted the blanket and I saw the two twins, and I was like, fuck, that's right, it is a queen. Really? Why did you think it was a fool? Because I'm a fool. The only person that got a fool was my son. Really? Well, he's not sleeping with anyone, and he's nobody's queen, and he's definitely not a king, so he can. I mean, it's better than a twin, right? Really? I guess. I think it's funny. Really? Sort of. And because I'm so giving, that's what I could do is I could just put together. I bought a queen headboard. I could give her mine and just sleep on the floor. And that's how we give just put the mattress on the floor. But she's already on the floor on the mattress, so she doesn't care. It was only me that cared that I made a mistake. How much did you care? Only a little bit. Life goes on. Really? Really. And even the maintenance man said, he said it's only too big by the the width. How much? 3 inches on each side. Really? So I could possibly, if I really wanted to be desperate, but I can't because that doesn't help with the problem with the sheets. Is it really that big of a deal? No, but it could have been dramatic. Like, the cake or something, or your wedding dress or something. Oh, your wedding dress didn't arrive. Cool. How about a funeral dress? Why did we spend all that money on this dress? It doesn't fit. Oh, that's great. Is it all my fault? It's the end of my day. There's rain clouds out there. Somebody didn't show. Shit happens, bro. Just go with the flow. Realistically, yeah, there's always going to be some hiccups along the way, which is what? Just stuff to get you caught up and take away your joy. Really? No, I was pretty joyful after that. I just didn't know how big of a deal it would be to return it and get it all fixed. Turned out it's going to be simple. And it'll be an easy fix. Really? I'm pretty sure. Unless they ran out of the bedding that I ordered for my daughter, and that could just be a sign that I need to get her different bedding. What'd you get her? Black bedding, like she told me? Really? No. Anyways, moving on. Deal with your thoughts and feelings. That's all we ever do around here. Work through them and understand that this is just a patterned way of thinking. And anytime you think like this, you end up self sabotaging, or you know what I mean? Every time this comes to mind, you end up doing something. Really? What do I do? Ah, God. Come on, don't bring him back. Every time Bobby comes to mind, I have a pattern of how I react to this, which is what? Self sabotage, and I push him away. Why? Because it's always some bullshit, which is what? I didn't end up with a man. Are you ready for one? No. That's where the whole Holy Spirit will sit there and argue with me, and I don't want to have this argument in front of nobody. Really? Yeah. Do I hate him for his patterns? No, I don't hate anyone for their patterns. Once I realize what they are, I have compassion. I pity you. But that's what you have to understand. Forgiveness is an acceptance. I accept the way that you are. I accept this, but I'm not going to continue to accept the pattern. Really? You better go pattern on someone else. Really? Yeah. And that's where the ends of relationships happen. When you realize that A plus B equals C and you don't get the D. Sorry, it's a funny joke to me. Really? This always happens, bro. No matter what I do, this is what happens. Why? Because this is what you're doing, not what I'm doing. I'm doing all different types of things, but you're doing the same thing over and over. You're being the same ho, you know? Why'd you laugh? Because it's a projection. I'd be doing that too. Really? I pattern all the time. Are you patterning? Yep. At least I'm aware of it. I'll tell them. I know I'm patterning. I'm trying to figure out the pattern, where it came from. How far does it go? Do I really need to stop it? Not all of them you need to stop. There's no need to start brushing my teeth from, the other way. Really? I don't need to change that pattern. That's an okay pattern to keep. Some of them are okay. The OCD, I tried to stop that. It's not terrible. It's just I'm aware that I'm doing it without control when I'm doing it, which is what? It's just uncontrollable. When I come in, I walk around in circles, cleaning everything off. I start with counters. I do that. I just do that. It's uncontrollable. I start organizing shit and I catch myself, while I've got like five things. They call this an ADHD meme, and I'm in the middle of five different things. I realize that you look like a psycho right now, but I can't stop it. I've already started it. I've got to finish making the bed and putting up the laundry and finish scrubbing the toilet because I've already put all this stuff. I've already started all this. Why did you do this? I don't know. I'm crazy. Really? And that's where it is. Is this a bad thing? Only if somebody's watching me. Do I do it all the time? Oh, yeah. I can't stop it. Anytime I come in the house, if I don't just sit down, I can't just sit down. I can't just sit down. I walk in and I start cleaning off the countertops. And it's not that my kids are messy, it's just that it's an obsession that everything has to be in its place. So anything, wrappers, your shoes, your shirts, anything. I'm just walking around replacing everything. And after everything's back in its place, then I can sit down. But I cannot sit down until it's back in its place. Really? Yes. So if I was gone and they ate something and they put some dishes in the sink, or they left out any of the wrappers from what they made while they were there, or any of that, I can't just walk by the dishes. I can't. I have to stop. I have to wash them immediately. If I walk into the bathroom, which my daughter does all the time, she goes in there and she kicks off her clothes and she starts dancing. And then she'll put on pajamas and she'll leave her clothes there. I have to walk around and put all this stuff up. I have to put things back in order. I cannot. I cannot crawl in the bed unless the bed is made. And my dog spends all day crawling under the blankets and getting, rolling around in them. So all day I'm remaking the bed because the dog is under the blankets. I can't. I can't go in the bedroom. Like, I can't. If there's cups on the nightstands or anything, papers, anything, I can't stop it. The best I can do is not yell at you or bother you about it. I used to get panicked about all the messes and get overwhelmed and yell at the kids about it. Pick up your shit. Why am I always picking up your shit? People just put things down. But yet I'm like, oh my God, you can't do that. Really? An obsessive compulsive disorders person is like that. Then my daughter comes out today and she's like, Netflix has a new show called Hoarders. I said, that will literally make me sick. I'm a clean freak. That will kill me to watch people do that. There's some places I can let it go, but the longer I let it go, the more it starts bothering me. I'll be sleeping and then I can't. I'll wake up in the morning and I'll start cleaning it. Really? My son left crumbs on the counter that I didn't wipe from the night before, and I'm thinking about it every time I go to the bathroom. Damn, chick, you're crazy. Yeah. Do you want to know where that came from? My mom would come home from work, and if the house wasn't clean, she would scream and hit me. It's unconscious. It's trauma response. In order for me to feel safe in a home, everything has to be clean. It has to be in its order. What would my mom say? As I say this, I'm crying because she's dead and nobody can hurt me because of a fucking mess, because there's dishes in the sink, or because I didn't take out the trash. But it eats me alive. Brain damage, programming, conditioning, patterns. I can't do this. I can't break this rule. I was taught never to do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I try, and sometimes I can. Sometimes I can, but if I do, I've realized if I can force myself to walk past messes, if I do it for too long, I'll panic. Then there'll be too many messes for me. It's better just to give into it. It hurts nobody. It doesn't hurt nobody. This program, this pattern, this unhealthy way of living doesn't hurt nobody unless I don't put it on somebody else, which is their expectation to be as clean as me. But I still do. And people that aren't freak me out. Is that how I am? No, it was put on me. By where? My mother. Are the rest of my brothers and sisters this way? No. She didn't take it out on anyone else. She took it out on me. I'm the cleanest. Really? I go to my brothers and sisters' houses and clean their house. I'm known for it. I do it everywhere I go. I can't be in your place without it. I can't feel safe. I'll kindly offer you, and I mean no disrespect, but it's something I need to do. And people don't mind usually. They don't mind it. Mr. Plum loves when I come down and I start pulling out the furniture and dusting and mopping and doing all the dishes and reorganizing the shelves. He appreciates it. He doesn't realize it's a sickness that I can't control and I have to do this to feel good. If I don't, it's bothering me. Your lifestyle bothers me. It makes me uncomfortable. Really? Mm-hmm. It's just a trauma response. Now, that's not healthy. But to say that people that don't live like that aren't that clean, don't live healthy lifestyles, is what people do. It's like, you don't live like me, so you don't live right. You're not living right because you don't live like me. That's not right. But even that, I projected it on people. You'll hear me go off about dirtiness, filthiness, grossness. Really? Mm-hmm. I'm very funny about that. But it's just trauma. If my mom wasn't, you know what I mean? If she didn't care about a clean house and didn't force it on me in corporal punishment, I probably wouldn't care so much. But as she did it, this is what's interesting. She taught me at a child age about it. Then in my teen years, I moved to Mexico, and these women based their pride off of their household chores. So it was another place where even though I had broken free from it, I didn't. I went from being a teenager to getting, you know what I mean, to being a wife. Now it was a different level. Really? Oh, God. I didn't understand. Why am I washing his pants? Why am I washing his clothes for him? He's 15 years old. Why can't he wash his own clothes? Why do I got to do this? I didn't understand. And it's all because he told them I was his wife. So I had to do what a wife does. Really? Oh, God. So now you can see me. I'm right here at the wifing thing. And I remember of all the trauma of what they made me do to become, to be a wife, what it meant to have someone in the home, all this trauma. Well, if you don't do this, then this is going to happen. And if you're not pretty, he's going to cheat on you. And if you're, a way to a man's heart is through his belly. And you have to do this and you have to do this. And remember all the bad things that happen if you're not pleasing. And remember, and remember, and remember. So they trained me my whole life. They trained me to be the perfect wife, a perfect mother, a perfect woman. and it perfectly didn't work for me. So in my rebellion, I'll never do it again. I'll never even try. I tried my hardest and it never worked. No matter what I did, it never worked, so I'll never do that again. Very childish, don't you think? Yes. I tried my hardest to stay married. I did everything and I couldn't make it work. And I realized that my hardest was not good enough. And I'll never do that again. All right, so that was my mentality. And then the twin flame journey comes, and I get to see why I tried so hard and how far I could go, and even further than I ever went before. How bad will you try to be to make this work? And my stomach's growling. I forgot. And that's because I was left with shame. I tried my hardest and nothing worked. So I just never wanted to try again. The failure of it was more than the success. Really? Yeah. Hey, Marshall, you want to tell people why you never tried again in a relationship? I can hear it because I tried my hardest and it failed. God wants us to try again and do it better. He said it's going to be better. As long as we're better, it'll be better. Do you believe in God and His promise? I didn't want to. Is my biggest fear. I'm just following His promise. But it's hard to see that promise of a bright future when all I can see is the pain of the past. I have to work through them, but they stop me. They stop me dead in my tracks where I'm not going to do this again. I'm not dating. I'm not doing it, God. I'm not fucking doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. Oh, it's only when my mind is weak. I know I got to wake up every day and try harder. Really? With the same people? No, just my mind. It doesn't matter. There's not one person in this world that would make it easier for me to move in love. I had to move through all of them all this way. I have to. It's always going to be this. It was always going to be this hard. Really? Yeah. But I can't face you until I faced every layer of me, and that's what's standing in front of it, and that's what keeps the sabotaging going. Really? I'm doing it because I'm not ready, and it's obvious. And I'm not mad about that. I do get mad that I can't just hurry up and be ready and just get it over with. But I can't because of all the years of, you know what I mean, of damage. Having two very damaging marriages that lasted for over 10 years, about 10 years apiece, I can't fix all those in 3 years of pop-up memories along with all my childhood and everything else. Maybe if I would have spent 3 years entirely on just my relationships with men, but I only do that when, Scorpio season or when certain, you know what I mean, when we're highlighted in relationships. Fucking Venus, fucking, you know what I mean? But there's still so much to deal with in that. Really? Because it wasn't one isolated event, but so many. It was a lifetime of unhappiness that I chose to forget. And now when I try to have it again, I'm forced to remember. Nope, there's no happiness in this. Remember who you are. That's pretty scary. Oh shit, I'm never doing that again. Really? Are all men like that? No. I think they're all the same. You're going to face challenges with all men in that way, but not the same experience. But they're all the same challenges you face with men. Really? Yeah. Overgiving, or self-sacrificing. You know what I mean? All of that. And that's ultimately, that's biblical. You're supposed to do everything to make this work. You're not supposed to get divorced, is what I was taught. You're not supposed to leave them. I was like you. I almost died to that. I almost died because of that. I was never even going to get the peace that I got until I got divorced. After the divorce, I shut down, and I was shut down for about 5 years just by myself. I needed that. I needed to be completely just find myself. That's all I was trying to do. When Bobby came back, I didn't realize. I met Bobby during my divorce when it was all happening. He didn't know. I hid it from him. I met him. I got that job after I got my apartment in Commerce City. I just moved out of a homeless shelter right there in Commerce City. I didn't tell anybody this shit. I literally didn't have furniture. I barely had furniture at that house. I didn't want anyone to know what I came through. So I didn't, I just hid it. And, these feelings and liking a new guy, I was not going to give in to that. And then when I saw the easy, his baby mama showed up with a baby, that was my cue out of there. And that was it. I spent the next 5 years thinking, dealing with myself, trying to reestablish myself from what I had been through. And he came back. By that time, I had established myself. And he was proud of me, and I didn't remember who he was or anything. But I did realize that it had been that long since he was the last person that I was intimate with. And I found that crazy. I was like, damn, I haven't talked to a dude in 5 years. I've been celibate. You're the last person I slept with. I've given no man attention since you. That was strange to me. I didn't fully understand it. That it had been so long. I understood later. Much later. And how could that happen? Well, I understood what I was, you know what I mean? It wasn't that men weren't attracted. I understood what I was, what I was running from and what I was saying to them and why I was avoiding it. And I was good at it. I wasn't leading men on. I would turn them down immediately. And if it became too much, I would never talk to him again. I just didn't like the uncomfortability of it. No? Uh-uh. And that's because the fears were there, even if the memories weren't. My person, my ego was built to protect me from what I couldn't remember. And the ego itself protected me by hiding the memories. I just wanted him not to remember. And so I didn't. But if you ask to forget a period of time, you forget everything. So asking to forget my husband made me forget my children's, childhood. Trying to forget San Diego made me forget everything, including my second children's childhood and my own, my family. Trying to run from shutting down one thought, shut down decades of my life. And as much as you really wish to whoever you are, let me get a tissue. Damn, girl. Damn, girl. It won't be the first time. I hit you all the time in there. As much as people would, like for me to think about you, I don't. I don't think about shit. And if I do, I'll tell you, oh, I had a thought about you, or you came up in a vision. I had a memory about you. Otherwise, no. All I have is the images that God puts in my head. My own, they're triggered by outside experiences or something. So it's real. Unless you make yourself present in my life, you're not presently in my reality. And people don't like that. Oh, I'm not important. You could say God decides what's important when he decides. And no. And that's where I used to think it was stupid. Why are you wasting my time with Russ? I didn't think he was that important. I didn't think he was worth my time, worth my energy. But God would lay it heavy on my heart. Russ is suffering. Russ is all alone. Russ needs some attention. Fuck him. Tell him to get his girlfriend. Tell him to call his mom. Tell him to get on the internet. Fuck him. There's like fucking 4 million people. He's got plenty of following. Why the fuck do I need to go tell Russ how special he is? Sometimes it's not how many times you hear it, but the person delivering it. It's like a million people could tell you the same thing over and over, but one time you'll hear it and it actually sinks, I suppose. I don't agree with it. Really? I still don't. Go talk to Russ. About what? You and this olive branch. Finally just gave in. Hey, Russ, God loves you. Jesus loves you. God loves you. Do I love him? Yeah, sure. He's a goofball. He's a he's a blown up Barbie doll. Really? When I don't hate him, he's not so bad. And that's just the rest of him. When you're not totally irritating my flesh, you're not so terrible. But realistically, that's that shit that I don't like, says Kanye West. Which is what? The Kanye West behavior. Look at me. I don't like that. Really? I notice the people that are quiet, that are not seen, not the people that are putting on acts, that are louder than life. That gets on my nerves. Again, I heard that bitch today. Hey, she's so fucking loud. There's certain things about this building I will not miss. It'll be very strange to wake up in my own house, and it's always an awkward feeling in your first house, your first night in your first house, kind of scary feelings and stuff, especially if I walk out in the middle of the night. It'll be scary. My first cigarette breaks in the middle of the night, my first this and that, all of those will be scary. But shit, there's some shit, her loud ass voice, not seeing some of these people every day, and the terrible feeling, not running into fucking Diana. Dude, her fucking, don't say it. I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. I walked through the door today, and her stroller were in the doorway, and she's like, "I'm sorry," and that was no big deal. But the fucking smell that came off of her and her family was awful. Really? I'm not gonna miss the uncomfortable feelings of walking past her, or fucking B, or fucking Janine, or every other person that's mad at me because I told them about them fucking selves. I'm not gonna miss that. I'm not gonna miss the security fucking check in where I gotta empty my pockets all the fucking time. I'm not gonna miss, shit, a lot of things. Realistically, mm-mm. But I will miss, and that's what I said. I'll never forget when I first got in this building. I'm going up the elevator and I'm looking at it, and it's 7 floors, and there's kids running through all the floors. I'm gonna miss that. I could take you out. It's a little too late right now. They make them go quiet after 10. But before, Salvation Army? Fuck no. They were running through the halls all hours of the day and night, and even in the parking lot. As fucked up and foul as it may have looked as parenting, to hear the laughter of kids and see smiles on their face and see them living a life inside of a building and knowing that before they came here, they were in cars and on streets, it was a good feeling. The family that I did the banishment for last weekend, every time they see me, including the baby now, they smile at me and say, "Hi, how are you?" They wouldn't always before, but they do now, and so does their little friends. I'm glad I was able to do something good for them before I left. Some of the things. I'm sad. That's what I told my kids. I'm sad I started this fast when they had such a good food provider. They have great meals that come through here every day. What they have today? Pulled pork and freaking mashed potatoes. This is a great meal. They've been having great meals. Yesterday they had chicken. What was it? Popcorn chicken and macaroni and cheese. They were great meals. It's like stuff like that. I'll miss the coffee. I'll miss the company. It'll just be me again unless I met neighbors. I met some of my neighbors over there. I introduced myself to a neighbor, Fuck, what'd she say her name was? I don't know. I met her and her son. Maybe her grandson, different in age. Things will be new. We'll find new people to talk to or not. And that's it too. I'm okay not talking for a while. I'm okay on my own for a little bit. I've had a lot of social interactivity here. I'm forced into it. Really? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't easy for me to get along with people that I don't typically deal with or choose to. God put me in an uncomfortable place and told me to be nice. I wasn't nice the whole time. He showed me when I wasn't, made me apologize, showed me, what it was, and moving on. Really? Some of the people. I made some good conversation. I enjoyed having good conversation with some of the people. My dog, she knows her way up. She'll have to learn her new way to the new house. She hasn't been to the new house yet, but she knows her way into this room. That's where the little kids were. They got tonight. They were getting on the elevator. They said, "You're not on 5 no more?" I said, "No, I left a long time ago." I said, "Oh." I said, "I'm going to move this weekend into my new house." I said, "We're moving too." Really? Yeah. They're acquaintances that I knew for a long period of time, which made them familiar faces. And it was nice to have something familiar. But now I'm going back into the unfamiliar. And it's okay because the more familiarized you make your new environment, the more comfortable you become. Really? Yeah. New patterns, new stuff to do. Realistically, yeah. I have patterns to how I live around here. Those are all going to be different at my new house. Am I going to sit in my car like I do here all the time? Where am I going to go smoke? Where will I do my offerings? Really? All these things. They have a huge dog walk. All kinds of different things. If I had friends with kids, I'd take them down. We have a whole kids room in our community center. Really? Your kids would never come in my house and tear it up. We have a whole fucking kids room down there filled with shit and a playground attached. Really? You got small kids? Bring them over. I have a playroom downstairs. We'll go down there and read them books and do puzzles and play with games. Really? All the shit I don't have in my house, they have down there. Bring your kids. Watch your language. Really? Pretty much. That's how it is. I think that's cool. Really? Mm-hmm. Then they have a community room where you can get together and they were talking about it. But if not, I'm sure you can access the community room where we could do meditations and classes and all that stuff. Yep. And then they have outside grilling area. And I noticed that when I was sitting out there with Morgan, that shit's connected to the fucking wall, which means it's got running gas. You don't have to hook up a propane tank, which means I'm pretty positive. I'm not going to do it my first week, but I'm going to check. I'm pretty sure we can be grilling outside next to the park in the open land connected to my apartment the whole time. Really? Let me find out, bro. I'm never cooking shit in my kitchen. We're grilling everything. I need to sear this meat. Really? Yeah, they said you have to sear it before you broil it or boil it. You're funny. I am. Mental is what they think it is. And that's what it is. They think that anyone spiritual has psychosis, that you're crazy because you don't think like other people. But that's the whole point, guys. The whole point is to not think like other people. And that's what we started with. What did we say? Fuck. I forgot what I was going to label this. Memory. It's so bad. I told that to my son. Really? I was like, you know what? You're just going to have to accept that for the rest of your life, you're going to have to remind your mom. That's your job. For the rest of your life, you're going to have to remember, you're going to have to keep reminding her stuff. It could be worse. Really? Yeah. Seriously? Dude, ask me what the maintenance man is named. I asked him already 3 times in 2 days. What is his name? I don't remember. Maybe it was David. Why? I don't know. Because he was Goliath. And just like that, I fall off over. Seriously, fuck. Can't remember. I told him though, I'm gonna do this to you a lot. I'm sorry. It takes me a long time to build new memories. I have a memory problem. Really? Yes. The fuck is his name? I don't know. He told me 3 times already. Sucks. Some things, bro, I can't. And yet, I can remember the Happy Days tune. I didn't remember it was Monday, Tuesday. I thought it was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I was all dun 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 dun. Happy Days. Really? It's in there. somewhere. That's why I'll be slapping my head. Like, come on, remember the name. Come on. I'm sorry, it won't give me anything. I'm done. Really? Oh God, I've tried so hard. You can't force a fucking thought. It's like trying to force a fucking fart. Or fucking trying to take a dump, dude. Or when I say forcing a thought, is you're just trying to force a fart. You're gonna shit yourself. Really? Yeah. I had this weird download today, you guys. God, what was it? I had this image. Why? Because I'm gonna make all these crazy foods for my nacho bar, and that's gonna make people gassy. Oh, and then I was gonna make this other thing. What? I found this recipe for deviled eggs dip. Really? Instead of making it in deviled eggs, you make it as a dip. That means you're gonna inhale more of this, which means it's going to make you gassy. So then I had this download to get some kind of gassy, some kind of medication. It's like Gas X for people. Before I feed them, give them this so that they don't feel bad about their gas later and that I understand that I'm about to give you food that's going to make you smell funny. Really? Why don't you acknowledge that? Seriously? It's like people aren't supposed to fart. It's going to happen. What did you eat? Realistically, I made a huge joke about it. He was like, take 2 jalapenos and throw one out because I don't want my butthole to be on fire tomorrow. And he's like, and if you can't stand the heat, you should take out the seeds. He's like, but I didn't because I want to suffer. It's like, fuck, why didn't I take out the seeds? Realistically, you know that if you eat this, this is probably going to fuck you up. So, in essence, I'm having an all you can eat nacho bar, but it's not just going to be nachos. Realistically, I have a bunch of great ideas, but all of this is going to make for one hell of a, um, a gassy situation. Really? Yes. Seriously? Seriously. I have ideas of great things. And I'm like, well, we might as well just prepare for the greatness. Realistically, I have 2 bathrooms. We have potpourri spray. Do you know what that is? The potpourri spray? The poopery spray? What is that? It's a spray that you spray in the toilet before you take a dump. So then after you flush, it doesn't smell like that. Really? Yeah. You're psycho. I told you about all kinds of things. Sorry. As I said that, I was like, do you have a problem with, you know what I mean, just spraying the shower after you take a shower? I'll clean it. Can you just spray it with some bleach? That's what the bleach on the floor on this fork. You don't have to wipe it. I will. Just spray it, please. You're psycho. I'm not. Cleanliness is godly. It's very ungodly how clean you are. I mean, you're talking about how many times a day I shower? And you're wondering why I question how many times you're changing your underwear in a 24-hour period? And if you washed your hands? It's an abusive childhood that's made me psychotic. Just want to point that out. I'm not a harm to anyone else. All right. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with your neural pathways and the weird thoughts that you have and how they make you feel and how you cope with them and what you do with them and don't do with them. Do something with them. Don't put them on someone else. Really? Try not to, unless they're a trained therapist. Seriously? I'm not getting paid for this. I don't want to hear your crazy thoughts. And yet, some days I'm very intrigued. Hey, good luck with that. Have a great night. Laters, haters. That was a